Hello everybody. It's me, Godo, and I am doing my sound check as per usual at the start of the stream. Good thing I did because I thought the music was on since I started and it wasn't, so let me just check the volume. Whoop. Okay, the sound seems pretty low on my side, so I'm just gonna increase it a little bit. Like this, it should be a lot better. So let me just check on my second device again, just before we start the stream. You can read in the post-it the objectives that we have for the stream. I'm gonna be talking about them in a little second. Okay, everything seems all right. So I'm gonna be putting that aside a little bit. That should be okay. And I'm gonna be starting the stream for real. So before I show you my usual view, where you can see my computer screen and everything, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's written in the post-it. So firmware part 4, so already part 4. Today, we're going to be focusing on two systems, okay? So input processing and event detection. What I mean by that is, you know, we already have some input processing in place, but it's quite simple. And generation of events is very, very simple. Okay, I'm going to want some more complex events to be there. Oh, let me just open the code actually. And my folder and stuff. Okay, because I have a couple of things to show you that I did since last time. Okay. So now I guess we can move to the other view. Whoop, like this. Oh, it did the thing again. No. I hate when the webcam does that. It just resets the configurations every time. Wait, if I do this, just give me a sec. If I do this, and I go here, like this, then I can do this, right? Yeah, it might be a little too bright, but at least you can see better, I think. Okay, so this way you should be able to see the keyboard very well, and the code at the same time. Okay, so one thing that I want to show you guys, first off, is that I added a .clang format file just to the main folder, you know, containing all of the other folders, just because I'm using the same Clang format folder for file, sorry, for everything. That's kind of a configuration that I'm using in general in life. Usually for the braces, I have a more complex thing, but you know, it doesn't really matter. Basically, if you like what you see, you can copy this if you want to. Doesn't really matter. I'm not going to dwell too much on it, but the point is formatting happens automatically whenever I save a file. So if I go in a file like here, you know, I ended up, you know, last time I was doing all of that formatting manually and stuff, we're actually going to be keeping the all-man format for braces, okay, like this. I think it's clear when you see, you know, what's part of a block. In this case, you know, the function definition. So I like the all-man style in general. I don't know. Last time I was formatting it like this because I think it's more popular. More people like this way. It's more concise. You can technically see more code on screen like this, but I don't know. I just feel like it's so clear what the block is like this. So it doesn't really matter. I guess I can show you guys in my settings. My user settings.json, I also added a couple things. So first off, if you want to use Clang format, it's going to work right off the bat if you have the C++ extension. Maybe the extension pack. I'm not sure. One of those. Either the C++ or C++ extension pack. And the thing is, if you want the format to be applied to your file whenever you press Ctrl S, like I do, like here if I do this and I do Ctrl S, it just formats the file automatically. So I defined that in my settings.json. So here, auto formatting, not whenever I type. So here, for example, if I press like this or whatever, like a semicolon at the end of my line of code, it would format automatically if this is set to true. So, just so you know. Also, force indentation style, because one of the things that kind of annoyed me last time, if you were there, is the code that I took from the Raspberry Pi Pico library, the C SDK. A lot of it had indentation of 2 spaces, which I didn't like. So this way I can force the tabulation, and Clang format will just force the formatting again. But that's pretty good. Here, editor rulers, I can add multiple ones, but I'm fine like this. And then, yeah, the rest is just a bunch of stuff I didn't add, so it was pretty much automatic. So if, okay, that's what I wanted to show for this Clang format. I don't think we're gonna have to play with it too much. Oh, one thing that it did change, again, if you were there last time, we added a file keymap.h, which is one of our little modules that we can use. So kind of a bunch of small header-only libraries, basically. And we defined a static key map where we could write every key that we wanted the buttons of the keyboard right here, what we wanted the buttons to do. So we actually just wrote them in a format that was a little nicer than this, I think, which was, all of these on one. Well, okay, there were no insert, no additional spaces, but basically it was like that, like all on one line and then the second one on the other line. So we actually had like rows and columns, which was kind of nice. But here, whenever I Control S, it just formats automatically. So because of the auto formatting, I didn't want to like deactivate it just for that. So I just wrote row 1, row 2, row 3, and then row 4. This way it's pretty obvious, row 1, row 2, row 3, and then row 4, right? So this way it's still easy to read, and we don't have to completely deactivate Clang format just because that's kind of annoying this way, right? And get key codes. Oh, I don't like that I don't like that it's on a single line. Hey, you know what? Let's go in Clang format and change it right now. I think there's something that I wrote, which is that's case though. Align consecutive short case statements. Turn a single line true. How about we don't? No, that doesn't do it. Let's keep that one to true just in case, but how about false on that one? What if everything's false? I just want to see if it's gonna change anything. Cause it doesn't? You're kidding me, right? Okay, for the case it's not so bad, but I don't like that a full function definition. Where was it? Yeah, that a full function definition is on a single line. It's kind of, I find it harder to parse visually. Where do I change that? Yeah, I thought all men was like break always, right? That's what I thought. So it's a good opportunity to show you the Clang format style option. That's a great page. So if I go all men, here, always break before braces. Yeah, that's what I thought. Kind of annoying. Well, you know what? Wait, if I go single line or something, if it does not, yeah, but compact namespaces. Whoop, whoop. A line after open bracket. What? Oh, this. Yeah, I actually do want that. A line after braces. Oh. Block indent? Which one is it? Oh, like this? Yeah, I mean, you know. That's not too bad. Always brave enough to break it if the parameters don't fit on a single line. Okay. Closing brackets will be placed. I think I prefer that one, but we'll see. Okay, in the meantime, let's get back to the code. Let's just accept these for now. I'm gonna try to find a way to change that. I didn't realize that it did those single line functions. So here, getting key codes is very simple, okay? In key map, we define a key map, and getting key codes is just, hey, I have this like, basically this input pin, and oh, it's an out variable. Yeah, out something key code, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. Something like that. Out. Yeah. Can I actually use an out keyword? No, right? Okay. So just out like this. So that it's clearer. And oh yeah, that's also where in the key map, that's where I define like basically the pin map as well. So I don't know if it should be in its own file, but again, it doesn't change much, and only 2 static variables. Yeah, doesn't really matter. They're constants. It's fine. So. Yeah, okay. I also wrote a little to-do file really quick. Well, actually, todo.txt is the one file we use for all the projects, but you know, and then done is things that are done. But for now, I'm using that one for other purposes. That being said, okay, there's things that I need to take into account. I wrote them here because I don't know yet exactly how I'm going to implement that, but I really need to make sure that whatever solution I come up with does cover all of these. So, key combo on event, meaning that here, if you look at this key map, there's one key for, you know, every event that can trigger or whatever. Like basically when I trigger an event on a certain GPIO, the you know, that key map defines for this button what key is associated. The thing is, what if I want to have a button that, well, we don't have layers yet, but on a certain layer, I'm gonna have a bunch of like shortcuts. So maybe when I press C, you know, just the button C right here, maybe it's just gonna do Control C on that layer, like automatically. So for that, I need to be able to define in my array at the position corresponding to C. So something like here, you know, in here, how do I define like basically an array of keys to press or something, right? Like key combos. So one idea that I had for that is I could define like an enum, which is like I don't know, something like a key combos or something like this, and then in the enum I could have, you know, something which is like Control C, for example, right? And then I would know that whenever I see this, like maybe in a switch or something, in a function that's like, oh, get like key array from key combo or something like that, then I could, you know, switch on all of these. That's one solution that I thought about. Not sure if that's what we're going to be doing. We'll see. But I need to make sure that my final solution, whatever it is, can allow for this. Also, multi-key events. So right now, the way we process keys is pretty simple. So we have, yeah, I think it's directly in the project here. So in the main function, I just, yeah, in HID task, I basically just loop over all the keys and then increment or decrement accordingly, depending on their current state. And then whenever I've, you know, pressed a key for long enough, I generate, you know, an event where I just send the associated key to the computer. That's what I do currently. So there's only one type of event, which is basically has been held for long enough, right? That's basically what it is. That being said, what if I want to have key combinations, right? Like what if I want, essentially there's going to be a key that's going to be the trigger or something, but what if I want this key to check for more complex events? Good example for that is, what if I want to check if I've pressed like a shift key to, instead of sending just an A, I send like a, well, in this case, it's actually shift A. There's not, it's, you know, there's not a single like key code for like a big A, right? There's not. So I would need to send like an array. So it would be more like a key combo at this point, right? But again, like that also shows another thing that I need to take into account is the combination of these two. So maybe when I press multiple keys, then there's a specific key combo. So essentially, however I'm going to end up doing my final mapping, I need to be able to check for complex conditions, aka conditions that, you know, might span virtually the whole keyboard, whatever complex logic I need. And whatever I send when that logic is being met, I need to make sure that it allows for complex key combos to be sent. As we saw in the, if we go back to the main, there's the function send HID report, which actually calls send keys, which is part of this, the keysend.h. So here, oh, we don't even see actually. So yeah, let's go back to the main. Basically, the key codes that we can send in one go to the computer, it's only arrays of 6 keys maximum. So I can send only one key. So in this case, that's pretty much what I do, right? Wait, in key send, do we see? No, we don't really see. But basically, I define only one key. And this is what I send currently. But I need to be able to send combos, more complex combos. Yeah, music's still going on. Okay. That being said, oh yeah, and a final consideration, I kind of, oh no. Yeah, okay, that's actually in tasks, implement layers, but basically I need to take into account layers. So layers is probably going to help solve at least multi-key events, I'd say, but we'll see about that. Now remove OS layout dependency. I did mention it last time as well, but when we see, if I go back in the key map, when we see HID key A, it's a constant that actually defines a position on a keyboard. It doesn't actually define the character A. So if on a, you know, on a keyboard layout that's, you know, on Windows, the, you know, basically, how do I say this? HID key A on my keyboard, which is a QWERTY keyboard, my normal full keyboard that I'm using to write code right now. When I press A, the event that's actually being read is HID key A. But if I had a different keyboard layout and in the position of the letter A, there was something else, like a D, when pressing this or when sending HID key A to the computer, it's a D that would be written on screen. right? That's what would happen if this is how it's defined in the keyboard layout. Now, there's a lot of different keyboard layouts that you can define on Windows, but I kind of would like my keyboard that I'm programming right here to be independent of that keyboard layout that's been defined here. Because I want to define the layout in the memory of the keyboard and whatnot. I don't want to have to define it specifically like using a default keyboard layout, right? Like what we're going to be doing might not even be compatible with this. The logic is going to be handled by the Pico and we can do all kinds of crazy stuff. That being said, let's check one last time. Let's go in done, yeah, because I'm kind of using it as a garbage file right now. Let's test the keys. They should work. I did fix them. I did a lot of soldering today because there was a lot of problems, but let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm not gonna... Oh, I can remove them as well. That's pretty good, right? I can change lines, I can do spaces, and a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Let's test all the keys. Okay. Yep, that seems pretty good. Yep. So my soldering didn't break since earlier today. That's pretty good. Now, it's time. By the way, I did not change anything in the code specifically before today. So the code that we wrote last time is already pretty functional. It's not great to expand as it currently is, which is why we're going to be kind of setting stuff up in their own areas. If we go back into to-do, so that's what we're going to start by doing. Split the main steps, not necessarily the steps that are in the main function right now, but we're going to split all of these into functions to make sure that we do things in order and also have like a clear-cut area in the code where we handle these things. Then we're going to be parsing inputs. This is actually the big part of what we're going to be doing this stream. Then we generate events. I would really like to get to event generation, like complex event generation. It would be really nice. And then implement layers. I don't know if we're going to get to it this stream. We'll see. So here, if I go in the main, there's like send HID report. There's HID task, which is like kind of a mess here. The callbacks are fine. You know, they're just, you know, used by tiny USB. So we can use them if we need them. That's cool. I don't have any problem with that. We're going to leave them be for now. It's kind of a part of the code that I don't want to touch too much if I don't have to. Oh, we also have a bunch of constants, right? Maybe we're going to put them outside of this file somewhere else, but we'll see about that. Okay, so for now, we're going to be... How about we just define a bunch of functions and the main just calls them in order. So for now, let's just say they're all void and they don't take arguments. Okay, all of them. We're gonna start. The first thing we do is init. Okay, just quick initialization. It's something that's it's basically all of these things that happen before the while loop. Okay, so that's the first thing we do. Then, oh no, I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I reformatted everything by control S-ing. First off, we init. Then what we do is we're gonna obtain inputs, I guess. So like get inputs, maybe? No, not this. So get inputs. So there's probably gonna have to be argument being passed around between these functions, but for now, let's just say they're like this. Then there's gonna be parse inputs. And then I think we're going to generate events separately from parsing inputs because we probably want to go through all of the inputs. Oh yeah, well, get inputs is going to parse the inputs, isn't it? Yeah, maybe. Well, it's fine. It's still going to call the other function. what we're also going to be doing is going to be generate events. Whoops, not here. Generate events. That's good. And then finally, we're going to be doing some thing like send keys, something like that, or like send events or something, I guess you could say. Okay. Oh no, generate events, yeah, but unevents, like, yeah, okay. Well, let's just say send keys, even though it's in key send. This way I'm just gonna, you know, cut my main function into a bunch of other functions. So here, all of the steps, then main function, that's great. We can define void init, something like that. Inside of here, we're gonna put all of that. Okay, and here, okay, so I just call init here. That's the first step of the main function. It's the fact that we're cutting the main into multiple functions just makes it very clear, whoops, what's supposed to be what. It's kind of a way to name parts of the main and also be able to only go to the code that matters to us whenever we're adding anything. Oh yeah, there's update as well, I guess. So here I can do void update. So update is going to be all of the little updates that we need to do. Device task, yeah, that's good. And debug let update. An HID task. We're gonna change the name of this one. Yeah, USB HID is like, nah, man. We're gonna remove this. Here. Okay, so here, instead of HID task, let's go get inputs. We're gonna rename the function basically. Okay. I guess it's going to be parse input because I'm going to parse a single input. Maybe instead of get input, it's just parse inputs. And like everything happens in one. wait, so parse inputs. And then, no, okay, I guess that logic, the logic of doing things is going to be a little more complex than that. But basically, parse inputs. Yeah, okay, like this is good. Like this is good. Generate events. We'll see about this one. Okay, so parse inputs. So update, that's cool. Update is kind of like miscellaneous update. It's just functions that need to be called every loop. But here, parse inputs, it's kind of like the core thing. But here, I guess we can do a module of its own. So a new file, which is going to be or just input parse.h. Or event generator. Nah. Just input.h, I think. Nah, input parse.h. Okay, so we have a new file now. So in this file, what we're going to be doing is, here we have the key map. That's good. Where do we store? Is it still in the main that we store the, yeah, key inputs and key inputs, the bounds? That's, oh, and this, basically all of that, yeah. Frame delay. Wait, where am I using this? Oh, it's how long I sleep? Yeah, okay, that's good. You can stay in the main. Last callback was empty. Where do I use this? Oh, in the send HID report. Yeah, okay, so, oh, okay. In a bunch of places. Basically, all of these, I'm going to put them in input parse. Int AT, it's actually going to be U8. But for these types, I'm going to include my own library. Whoops. Include. Going to be, how's it? Is it types.h? Yeah, types.h. It's going to be a bunch of U. That's not U, right? It's an int, so it's I8. A bunch of these. Okay, so we're good on this. You know what? I'm gonna go to the bathroom just a sec, so be right back. Hello, hello, I'm back. Okay. So if I show you guys, boom, 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 like this again. So we're starting to move the parsing of inputs into its own file. So how about I say or update something like update input where I take a how do I do this in the main? Yeah, okay. So here, update input, and you can have a position. Or like, let's just call it input. And also we're gonna take a bool. So we're gonna include standard bool.h. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I guess that is the order. Okay. So also a bool, which is going to be something like is pressed or something like that. And for this, what we're going to be doing is pretty much like the whole logic that is here. That's what we're going to be doing. So the if and else. Okay, let's just take the whole thing here. Boom. Kind of crazy. Instead of gp get here, it's going to be if is pressed. Like this. Whoops. So if it's pressed, then you do your whole thing that I was already doing. And then it's actually going to be input. Like this. Oh. Is it the Pico that keeps disconnecting? Boom, boom, boom. Good vibes music. Come on. Okay, that's good. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here, there's my logic that I had. So here I could probably just remove the entire thing and do like this. Yeah, something like that. And then instead of an if, it can just be a function call, which could be, oh, I need to include the new thing. So here, right. The thing is, these, they're not mine. Oof. Yep, they still want to do that. Okay. So how is it called? Input parse. So include input parse.h. That's nice. So now what I do in here in parse inputs is I'm just going to call parse inputs. And then this is whether or not it's on. And here it's going to be the I. Oh, it's actually, yes, it is I. That's good. That's where it maps in the thing. Okay, that's good. And then if key inputs at position I equals frames to event. Okay, this is going to be a different function. And this one is going to be very important because this is where we're going to be making most of our changes, at least at first. Because here, parsing inputs is great, but here we're only checking for one type of event. But we basically want to have a function that can check for a certain event. So I guess this one, it's pretty much going to be if is pressed or something like that, right? So here, no, like this, we're gonna be bool. Maybe, yeah, I guess it's just gonna be a bunch of functions. So if, not is pressed, but if key down or something, that's usually how it's called or something like that. But now let's just keep it with the input naming scheme. So if input down, input pressed, if input pressed, and then here we're still going to use U8 input. And then that's it. And then what you check is going to be the condition that we have here, basically. So it's like key input at a certain position, at the position input, input is equal to frames to event. Specifically, then yes. Now, we could add more complex logic already. Something like, because, okay, let's say we don't ask for this input pressed on the frame where it's been pressed. So we never consume the event. Maybe we could ask for it like 5 frames later and then still see, oh yeah, it's been pressed. We just never asked if it was pressed. So I could add like a whole array, which is like, ooh, did I ask for this event or whatever? Or, I could like have a queue of events being generated and whatnot, and or for every single one of these, I could remember what the previous event that happened was and whatnot. I could have a bunch of things, but for now, we're just gonna go if input pressed at I, okay, and then something happens. But this is not going to be input parse that's going to decide what happens. This is going to be parse inputs. Okay, so for every input, I parse the input, and then if, oh yeah, but the thing with input pressed, yeah, okay, so that's not going to be here. It's going to be not in generate events, but maybe handle events. I think that's a better name for function. So here, get inputs, then handle events, or something like this, and then sleep. Okay, so handle events is going to go here. Then I can add a loop like this. And here, I don't do this. I just parse a bunch of inputs for you. And then for you, instead of parsing the inputs, I just, check if that's good. Okay. Yeah, and here it could be from 0 to, is it n number of LEDs? How did I write that? A GP count. Yeah, that's true. That's what it is. Not LED. What am I talking about? There's no LEDs. Is there no music anymore? Okay, now the music's back on. And here in handle events, okay, for now, what we do is just we go through all of the GPIOs that are connected to keys. And then we just check if the inputs corresponding to those are pressed, right? So, okay, and if they are, you know, I'm handling the events. So I send HID report. Oh, and then those I don't need. Oh, right, the increments. Well, I should never really need those, but okay. Yeah, I don't know if I should not do that. Do I need to add a function for this case? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep them commented just so I know that I had this logic at one point, and we're gonna be soon recompiling everything and seeing if the Pico works as intended. That being said, all of these I shouldn't be needing anymore in this file. So that's yet another big part of the code that's been handled in a separate file with logic that is a little clearer. It's going to be really good when we expand in just a bit. So here the main is very easy to read, and I think it's a good entry point to understand the program, right? So we start, we just initialize stuff. Then we loop infinitely, and every loop we call a quick update on a bunch of stuff. Then we're acquiring inputs. Then we're handling any events that happen. Handle event, plural. Thank you very much. Did I write it like that here? Oops, handle events, yes. And then, yeah, sleep milliseconds. So send keys. Yeah, I did write a function for that, but I think it's fine. I think handle events is where most of that logic is going to be. Okay. So now I think we can recompile and everything in the code should be the same, except that's a possibly big caveat, which is that ++ here. So we're going to see if the keyboard works as well as it used to. So let's go in cd the project, which is dev HID composite. By the way, at the end, towards the end of the stream, I'm going to try to change the name of the project, because dev HID composite is the name of the, you know, default project for the Pico, but we're going to be changing it for the name of our own project. It's very error prone, and it could really make the project not even able to compile anymore. So I want to do this at the end of the stream. This way, if I'm stuck, I can just leave you guys on that note and, you know, fix that on my side afterwards. Okay, so let's put the Pico in boot cell mode. Okay, and now I just send my command do, which is going to recompile everything and send the code to the Pico. Didn't take too long. Subcommand failed. Get inputs. That's a problem. Okay, why? In main. Get inputs. Okay. Where is this a problem? So I have get inputs here, and I did not write get inputs anywhere because it's parse inputs instead of get inputs. Okay, let's recompile. There's still another problem. Report ID keyboard. Where is this? Whoops, what am I doing? Control F. Okay. Yeah. Okay, what's the problem with this? Oh, is it? Did I remove like the enum or something for that? Did I? Okay. Frames to events. Okay. Where is this a problem? Okay, let's go here. So frames to event, yeah. Should be defined at the top here. Yeah, it is. Okay, so what is the problem then? Here. Yeah, what's the problem? Equals this. Yeah, okay. Expected this before. Oh, okay, yeah, there's no. Okay, of course. We need a semicolon. Okay, now let's actually recompile the code. Report ID keyword is still a problem? How so? Include key send, okay. And here, oh, okay, I see. This is a problem here. Because you don't import this. Right. Well, I don't like redefining things. What included that? Was it defined in USB descriptor or something? Yes, it was. Okay, so I'm just gonna... Oh, but I can't really include this because this is pretty much project specific. Okay. You know what? We're just gonna do this as simply as we can to make this work. So we're just gonna write one. I know it's not great, but it should make it compile. Oh wait, the Pico is not ready. No. That's the thing. When we take too long to compile the Pico, it gets back into the code that it had. Okay. So now the new code is in the Pico. I'm already seeing a problem. It doesn't blink anymore. Update, debug that update, yeah. And when I initialize it, debug that init, that's good. Oh. Oh, okay, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, I don't know what it is, but when I get a problem that the computer doesn't recognize the Pico and whatnot, it probably means that somehow something's not happening correctly. TID task. Yeah, it's an update. That's good. It should be fine. Called by the main, right? It is called by the main, right? Yeah, update. Debug. Yeah. No, that's debug. That's TID task. Okay. An update. I sleep for frame delay. Maybe I don't sleep. Okay, it can get kind of crazy if we don't, but let's just try. Oh no, the Pico, no. Pico is still not ready. Okay. So now what's happening? It's still not blinking. Is there a problem with the update? The update function? I'm not too sure. USB device not recognized again. Okay, probably something that I did. Frame delay. Okay. Let's try. Okay, how about we just say never mind to calling update, and we instead just do the task directly in here. Okay. Let's send that code to the Pico. Okay. Okay, no, I did not. Well. It is malfunctioning, apparently. I probably did something in the code that it didn't like. Let's go progressively. Maybe in it, you know, we also send back that code in here. So let's just try this for now. I'm going progressively because I seem to have broken something. So I'm kind of in debug mode in my head. Okay, so this is working though. That's quite strange to me because whatever's in it was called directly from main without arguments. Look, I mean, if it has to be called in the main, it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of strange. What would it do anything to call that from a function? That's strange. And we can agree, this is exactly the same, right? Pretty sure, yeah. And if the only difference is that I call init instead, then it's not gonna work, right? Kinda weird. Okay, let's try again. Oh, no, it seems to be working so far. I mean, the LED is blinking. It's doing what it should. Okay, that's okay. And what if I call update here? Let's try this. Okay, let's send the code. Okay, it is blinking. The LED is blinking. Okay. So now let's do a writing test here with the keyboard to see if we broke anything. Oh yeah. Ooh, everything is still commented. Okay. Let's try both of these. For now, things probably won't work as they did because of the sleep. It's gonna change a big thing. But let's try. Okay, so nothing's happening. Oh, and the LED is not blinking anymore. Oh boy, what did I do? Parse inputs. You know what? GP count? I'm thinking about it. This is a U8 right now. Yeah, it should probably be an I8. It might be better. And the number 0 as well. Well, I don't know. Let's say I. Key map is fine to be unsigned because these are unsigned, I think. No, maybe this one is still a U8. Just this one because it's used in loops. And I want to use ints for loops. It avoids like going to 256 when you do -1 from 0. This is why I'm using ints usually here in loops. I could actually use I8. Might be better. By the way, if I'm using those, I should probably include my types. Types.h. Thank you so much. Everywhere I see int. Oh yeah, well, no, I'm not gonna touch these because they're the callbacks. Yeah, okay. UN32T, for example, could be just U32. And HID report. Yeah, that's good. That's good, that's good. Okay. It's really just for the loops I want to use ints. Okay, now my device is having problems. Give me a sec. Let's just re-upload the new code. Okay. It's still not blinking. Something's wrong with the functions. Let's try this. Okay. It is not blinking. Why? Okay. And if I comment this and uncomment this, is it still not blinking? It's meant to blink. Oh? No, it is blinking now. Okay, so I think handle events, it works just fine, right? You just go in here, you do a quick loop, you check if the input has been pressed, or it's considered pressed in terms of, you know, events, and then I send a report based on that. So the problem is in parse inputs then. Oh, why is this called parse inputs? Oh my god. That's really parse input, by the way, that it should be. But I just realized the function called itself. So it was stuck in an infinite loop. Oh my god. Okay. Yep. That's a real Stack Overflow right there. Okay. Dang, that's sad. Oh boy. It's update input actually, right? Is that what I wanted to? Yeah, update input. So this input and this, you know, truth value. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. It should work better now. Let's try. Okay, so again, I did not put back the delay yet. So things should still be a little bit janky, but at least the LED is working correctly. So let's try. Okay, there's something wrong about the input parsing. I think I might know what, but I'm not sure. Let's see. So here, update input. Input parser. Constant. Oh, they're not static. These are not even constant. Okay. These need to be static, all of them. Okay, let's just take the keyword at this point with the space, please. Okay, let's recompile. Hopefully things work now. Let's just reframe this a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, let's try again. No, there's still something broken. What is? Yeah, okay. What is broken? So if is pressed, then you do stuff, you update, you do things. Okay, I'm not too sure what the problem is. Is it? Am I misusing static? That's very possible. I know that const is fine, but maybe these, they actually need to be static, like function stuff. Oh no, but I want to use them in two functions. So yeah, it doesn't really work. So you go through all of them. And then, you know, from 0 to GP count. And then you update input with a get here. Which returns a bool as well. Oh, it takes a U8 with the GPIO. Okay, then you know what? No, these need to be I8. This is fine. But the key map, I did put this as a I8, but it should be a U. Let's just be careful with the loops, but here I was calling GP get with an integer instead of an unsigned. So maybe that was causing problems. Okay, let's send this. I think it should work. Okay, let's go back here. Nope. Still not working. Not sure why. The logic should still be exactly the same as it was. Frames to event. That's pretty difficult. Also, it's going to be pretty tough to debug. If I do global static variables in C. Is it in C? Yes, it is. Okay. You should not define global variables in header files. Oh. Yeah, but I'm doing header only. Come on. Maybe it's not best practices, but you know, I just want it to work. You should not define. Mm-hmm. But that is a good question. Right now, oops. Right now I define them as static. Can the other files see key inputs? Like, I don't know, if I go here, like key inputs. Oh, you do see it. Okay, I see. I see what can be the problem. That's why you would normally define them in a C file. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it still doesn't explain why it doesn't work. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I mean, I can really go. Oh, maybe just adding the sleep is gonna help, right? Okay, let's just add the sleep and see if it works. This way we should be back to pretty much exactly the code that we had last time. Okay, just to be sure though. So update is fine. Send HID report. It still exists. So parse input update. Send HID report. Yeah, I do. You get the key codes and you send the keys. And we know that this works for sure. So it just returns the key codes you're supposed to be getting. Okay. And then you send keys. Give if HID is not ready, sure, and then you send the thing. I did write 1 here instead of whatever was in USB descriptor.h. Yeah, it's equal to 1 though, so. Okay. I pretty much trust this function, so here, if input pressed, maybe that's a problem. Because if it doesn't actually receive the correct information from here. Equals frame to event. Yeah, it should be the case. It should be fine. Frames to inputs. Sorry, frames to event. It's 25. Frames max is 100. That's fine. Frames to the bounce 10. Okay. Key inputs. Key input the bounce. Yeah. So we increment the debounce. And then if the debounce is over the amount of frames that it takes to debounce, then you set it in the actual key inputs. And here you just compare the key inputs to frames to event. Okay. Pretty tough. Parse inputs. You're gonna update input. GP get I plus 2. Yeah, that should be fine. Actually, if I go in key map plus, let's say plus GP0, something like this plus GP0. An update input. So yeah, you receive a certain number. Am I sending a U8? Yeah, I should. Okay. And then the boolean, whether it's pressed or not. If it's pressed, I do, you know, one part of it. Otherwise, I do another part of it. And all that this does, update inputs, it returns nothing or anything like that. It really just updates whatever's happening. This one tells you, hey, is the input pressed? So you have this. Press input. Okay. Yeah, it really is just called once every frame. And every time I just increment by 1, right? Yeah, it really should be. So I loop through all of them, and I do this. That's so strange. Okay. Let's do it progressively. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to be doing. Okay, first off, did I remove the thing here? Yeah, I did. Okay. So frame delay and whatnot. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is taking pieces of this out one by one. Let's start with the biggest piece here. You know what? Let's rename all of the inputs here. by I. Starting with that one, yeah? Yeah, okay. Oh, no, not this. That's what's annoying. So like this one, yeah. Oh, replaced by I, sorry. So not this one, yeah. Not this one, yeah. Not this one, not this one. Oh no. Yeah, it's really not an ideal situation. You know what? I'm just gonna take I and put it in a bunch of places because I'm gonna be moving the code back and forth, so might as well just use I. And I think it's actually easier. You just know, you know, the position, that it's a position like this, so. Yeah, like this is much faster. Boom, boom, and then boom. Okay, and at that point, you do the same, my dear. So I take all of this and I put it back inside of the main. And I think I just, you know, it literally instead of parse inputs. So right here, boom, you just do this. Right? That's kind of crazy. Now it's in a different file. I don't know if it's going to map correctly to like this specific one, but I think it should. Let's try. Okay. There's a bit of a problem. What do you mean key is the bounce? Oh. Yeah, I did change one thing. Okay. Oh no, why is there a bunch of key is the bounce? Where is that? Oh yeah, but here you have to get the GPIO and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, just take this. And then move it inside of here. Like this. Boom. And the if is going to be gpget right here. Basically, okay? And then I'm still going to call parse input from the main. It's going to be easier like this. Then in parse inputs, I think, yeah, key is the bounce. So key inputs the key bounce. Okay. So now, does this compile? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna upload that to the Pico. Yep. Okay. So what does this do? Okay, it doesn't work. Oh, no more music. Please go. Keep going. Okay. Handle defense, that's good. Okay, so here, I'm also gonna change the code right here to what it was. Well, just like this. At this point, I don't think that this is gonna work, but we'll see. And I think I know what it's gonna mean if it doesn't work. Ah, it worked. Okay, well, so in a way it's cool, but I was wrong in my prediction. Meaning that I don't understand what the problem is, unfortunately. why can't I have this code be in these functions instead? Because since this code is in a .h file, when it's included, what it should technically be doing is that wherever it's being given, like it right here, I'm supposed to have this, all of this code here, being put right there at the top of the main file. Or you could think about it like this. So if this code is as is in the main, kind of strange that it doesn't work just because I'm calling it from other functions, right? Now, let's try something. What if I just take these functions? Like I literally just take them. Okay, now I put them in comment, and instead I just put them here, directly inside of the main file. What if I did that? Okay. So here, in handle events, let's just test the condition here instead, right? So what if I do is, or event pressed or input pressed for I. Okay, how about I try this? Okay. Now if I go in a file and I try to write. Okay, so it doesn't work. So it's not the fact that it's in a different file. It's somehow the fact that it's called, like the function here doesn't work or something. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. That's for sure. The question now is why? I'm taking a U8. Input, yeah. Okay. That's very strange. And I'm returning a bool. Yeah, okay. What's the problem here? I'm not sure. It's the most simple function in the world. And yet, it somehow doesn't work. Oh my god. Oh my god, I hate myself so much. Oh my god. Oh my god. All the blood, sweat, and tears. All this for absolutely no reason. That's incredible. I can hardly believe it. I can hardly believe it. Okay, well, I found the problem. See, I get destabilized with these one-line functions. If it was written like this, I genuinely feel like I would have seen that it's not a return statement earlier. But when it's on one line, it's, I don't know, it's just harder to see. Okay, well, okay. So here, Control Z, just add the return here. So at this point, I can remove this. Okay. So now I'm going to compile and it should work. Well, you know, sometimes we make new mistakes. And that's what just happened to me. Okay. So things work. Now, since this works, how about we make it more complex than that? The first thing we could do is, like, I don't know, I'm thinking that I'm gonna need an enum with events. Okay, let's show you what I mean by that. So that's cool. So I feel like I'm gonna need an enum, which is like a key events. Like this. Do you need this at the end of an enum? I don't remember. Maybe. Maybe we don't. We'll see if it compiles. So the first event that I want gonna be say like event something. Say event null. Event number or event map. Okay, and then we're just gonna add a bunch of events. This should be 0, right? Yeah. And this is the actual number of events. Or is it? Oh yeah, null counts as 1. Okay, so event pressed, of course. Event released. Event, I don't know, hold or held. And then what other events could there be? Oh yeah, something like down and up. I don't know, just a bunch of things, right? The thing was pressed released is like, but if it's an event pressed, it's not like, you know, it means when it's getting pressed, right? But yeah, let's say down and up. It's easier to understand. So down and up. Hold, I guess it. Hold or held. Well, it's not really an event. It's more like a, you know. But I guess it could be. Okay, let's leave it like that. Well, hold kind of means pressed, right? An event null could just be like released or something. Okay. So down is like the moment you press it. Up is the moment you release it. So it should happen only once. And then there's hold, which is like currently being held. Yeah, but hold is not really interesting though. right? Do you need hold when it's being held? Not really, right? I don't think so. I think just with these we have enough. Okay, so down and up. Because technically if you have event down and event up, and I do something like remembering what the last event triggered was, that could be very useful. So then, what if we have a struct that defines like a, not like a key state, but like a key, yeah, what if we have struct which is something like a key state? Yeah, let's call it key state. Okay, so you have a key key events, which is key event, let's say. Do you have to say enum? Enum key events, key event? Yeah? Oh yeah, you do. You do. Okay, so you have a key event, which is, maybe it could even be like last key event, right? And you could have like a bool, which would be something like was event consumed or something. Okay. Or you know what? Just event and then was consumed. Instead of key state, is just going to be like a last event or something. Or literally just an event. That's even better. Do you need these? I'm not too sure. We'll see when I try to compile. And then what we could do, yeah, struct is fine. No, struct is fine, please. Just maybe just stick them together because they're like this. And then maybe what I could do is this. But instead of being an I8 thing, it can be an event array, which is going to be last key events, something like that, right? Oh yeah, no, you definitely need this. You definitely need this. Okay. So last key events of size, you know, I say 20, but it should be GP count. And how do you know this? You should know because I include key map. Even though you don't truly need the whole mapping, right? Yeah. Well, you know. This is this probably should be in a different file. I love this song. Okay, static struct event last key events of size GP count, right? Okay. So here in this struct, okay, that I just initialized to basically nothing, I can actually save what the most recent event was for every single key. This way I can see, and also I can, I save the event and I save whether or not it was consumed. So here I have update input. That's cool. And update input should call a function that is going to be only of this file. It's going to be static void update event, which is going to have a u8i as well as probably yeah, just bool is pressed. Maybe just this is enough information. Because I think update input is probably still going to do all of the input processing. I'm just not going to do... Oh, yeah. So basically the condition here is going to go inside of update event. Okay, but right now I have only simple events. What if I have more complex events happening at some point? Well, I'm not too sure. We'll see about that. Yeah, there's going to be more events. There is going to be hold or held. Or, I guess pressed. And released. They're going to exist. Because basically down and up, they're going to happen for like one frame. And then they're going to become pressed and released. A trigger, because we're also gonna add frames to hold or something, and instead of 25 it's gonna be like, I don't know, like maybe 30, so maybe it's for more than one frame. Okay, let's do this already. So update event, I'm gonna say if basically key inputs at a certain position. So basically, yeah, I want this condition. Equals frames to trigger. Then this means that if key inputs equals frame to trigger, then the event for that key, so I can go last key event. Yeah, okay, let's just stick to the name. So last key events at position I dot event will be equal to event down, and this was consumed. No, sorry, dot was consumed. You know, it could just be consumed, but you know, fine. Was consumed will be equal to false. Okay, so this basically there's a new event being set. Okay, I can also do the same. Minus frames to trigger. It's gonna be event up, and was consumed will be equal to false as well. Yeah, I can go with another else if before, which is actually gonna be is equal to, it's gonna be frames to hold. Then here you're gonna have event pressed, and we're gonna have like something similar here, the hold and whatnot. And here you're gonna have an else. Oh, do we have an else? No, I think for the rest of the time you do nothing. Frames to hold, yeah, equals minus frames to hold. We have event released. So there's like 5 frames where the event is gonna stay down or up. And then during those frames, you can yeah, no, okay, that's good. Then you just set the new event being false. And now in input pressed, so I could just add a bunch of functions. So there's going to be pull input pressed, there's input, this is going to be input down actually. And instead, so it's going to be a little more complex though, the logic. So please just go on new line. Something like if it, no, last key events, don't you? Okay, I don't understand why it didn't give it to me, but last key event at position I dot was consumed equal to 1. No, just if it was consumed. What am I doing? Okay, so if it was consumed, well, if not was consumed, then you return this. Oh, right. If, okay, sorry. If last key event, you also have to check that it's the correct event. So if last key events dot dot event equals event down, okay, and not last key event was consumed. Okay. Then you return true, and otherwise you return false. So basically you just return this. Like this. Okay, yeah. So you return the last key event is equal to the expected event, and also it was not consumed yet. Oh, but then you have to consume it. Right. Okay, so you know what? Let's go back to this. So if this, you return true. But before then, you do, oops, sorry, you do was consumed equal to true. So we've consumed the event. Now, I don't know if every event can be consumed. Like for input down, that's fine because it's like a triggered input. But for inputs like, you know, pressed, like is it currently pressed? I think I just return this and you never like update was consumed, right? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because if you want to have something like a caps lock, all that you have to do is that you like toggle something when you get a input down. So on the first input down, you activate it. On the second one, you deactivate it. So you never actually use the hold. The hold is more for like a shift key. Oh yeah, but oh, that's a good question though. Oh no, yeah. Okay, for the shift key, what you do is you check if the input is down the first time, and then like you deactivate in your memory the shift once you get the event up for the shift. Is this what you do though? That's a good question. Because that might not be the best thing to do. So many ways of doing things. No, because then when do you ever use events like is the key being held? Like when do you ever use that? Yeah, that doesn't seem very useful. Yeah, I think that the event of being held is not an event that I want to consume, I think. It's a tough choice, but for now, let's say it doesn't. At the very least, it's gonna show me just like different ways that it can be done. So here, you don't check if it was consumed, just at all. And you don't set that it was consumed. So you basically just return this. Return this, and you're fine. Please don't put it on one line. No. Okay. And then I do the same for input up and input released. Okay. Here it's going to be event up. Okay, that's good. here is just event. Released. But that's not event down, that's event held, right? Or event hold? Oh, it's pressed actually. What am I saying? Okay, event pressed. Okay, all of that is all fun in games, but I'm not even calling this function the update event. So here, okay, so I check if it's pressed and blah 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 and blah blah blah, and then at the end I just update event for I. Okay, so basically I just calculate all of the debounce information and whatnot. Then I update the event, which is where I'm going to be generating, you know, the key event for every particular key. And then I can just call functions that check whether or not a certain event is the currently standing event for that key. And if it is, then it returns a boolean, and maybe even it consumes it. So I really have to like re-trigger a last key event here. Okay, for now that's gonna be doing it. So okay, let's go here. Okay, parse inputs in main. What? Oh, I didn't put back the thing. Yeah, okay, so you have gpget, that's good. Okay, so actually for every single one of these, you're going to be calling a function called update input. And this function is going to get called for I. And you're going to, oh, whoops, you're going to actually get the full gpget condition here. Okay. So let's see here. If input press, no. If input down. Okay, let's try this. Maybe it won't even compile. Yep, there's a bit of errors. Modified key. Really? Where? Yeah, okay. Variably modified key inputs at file scope. What? What do you mean? Oh, you have to... Okay, yeah. Even if it's const. That's kind of annoying. Well, let's go like this. That's good. I guess that's why I didn't use it before, but I really want to, so... Okay, let's say it's good for now. Does it compile? Why wouldn't it though? Oh, I see. Okay. Let's send that code to the Pico. Let's try it. Okay, something doesn't work in how I generate these. Probably how I generate these events. Let's key events. Okay, that's good. It's static, but it's not const. That's good. Has a bunch of events of a certain size. Yeah, that's good. Go to 0. So it's a struct of event. Then was consumed will be true. Yeah, that's good. Input down, return true if event down. And that's what I'm checking for, right? I'm checking for the correct event, I'm assuming. Input down, yeah, that's good. Okay, so I check last key events dot event down dot was consumed and not was consumed. Okay. Update event. Frames to hold. Okay. Maybe make it a much bigger thing, like 90 or something. Oh, also, yeah, it's kind of weird. It will be generating the first event, which I can consume, and then frames to hold. So here I should probably do something like if something like, where are the conditions for this? Something like basically testing those conditions. So here, like if the previous event, so essentially the current, previous event before I change it, is event down and not was consumed. So if I didn't consume it, and key inputs at position I equals frames to hold, then and only then do I say this. But you don't have to set it to false then. Yeah, okay. And I can do something similar for you here. You don't have to be false. This is event up. Key inputs frames trigger. Puts will update. That's weird. I'm not sure why it's not working. Quite strange. Okay, I copied it. Okay, so I'm just gonna reactivate the music real quick. Also, I'm gonna be going to the bathroom, so I'm gonna pause you guys and be right back. Okay, I am back. So currently, what we're doing is we've defined a bunch of different events, okay, that we want to be able to discriminate between, right? So we want to be able to see, oh, which specific event is happening right now, and we define that for every single key. Now what we do when we process inputs, basically the caller needs to call update input for every single key, And then for that key, we do some debounce and stuff like that. And once we've done the debounce and whatnot and updated the value of the inputs and whatnot, then we call update event. And in that update event, we set the current event for for that key that we're currently checking. Okay, we also have a variable very useful for every event that we define. We set whether or not it was consumed. And if it was consumed, then we cannot consume it again. Especially for events that are like triggered events, like pressing the key down and stuff like that. We don't actually set the was consumed for stuff like, are we holding the key for a long time? Okay. The thing is, currently it's not working, and there's a little bit of tweaking that I need to do with that system. It's also getting pretty late where I'm at. So I did give you a little quick recap of the situation, because I'm actually going to be ending the stream now. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to be continuing that on my own, on my free time. I'm probably not going to do another stream until like next weekend or something like that. So in the meantime, enjoy, and thank you for watching. See ya.